So I've been struggling with something recently, and I want to get your take on it. Do you think that you need other people? Need your partner, your friends?
I want to start by acknowledging that my voice sounds like this.
Thank you for the disclaimer.
Now I'll answer your question. I struggle because need to me sounds like security and safety and like you're like being alive. Mm-hmm. So if it's in that realm, like I think that you need people. I think that if you were alone, you would probably die because, you know, when people go to like prison and they're in that, what is it, solitary confinement, that's like considered extreme, like torture.
Yeah.
So in that sense, like you need people, but I don't know if you need your partner. You should want them and value them and love them, but I don't know if you need them.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Don't feel like you have to convince me.
No, but it's
you look like you
it's a tricky one. It's a tricky one. I don't know.
I don't necessarily think that you need them. You're choosing to be with them for a variety of reasons, or you're choosing to be in their life, like a lot of my friends. Mm-hmm. Need to me sounds like codependency, and I'm very scared of being codependent.
Yeah.
I'm very interested in being interdependent.
I agree. Yeah. Yeah. I think in like previous relationships of mine, like I've been codependent. I like kind of forgot how to do stuff on my own. I was like, oh yeah, I used to do this thing that I'm doing with you right now, like by myself, and it was not hard. But now I like can't imagine not doing it with you, and that's dangerous.
Yeah. Why is it dangerous though?
Well, I mean, for me, I don't know. I mean, speaking for myself,
of course.
Like I feel like at some point, like my partner and I, like my ex-partner, we used to always like go places together, and I kind of forgot that I used to like get around on my own.
Yeah.
And like it took me a long time after that relationship ended for me to be like, oh yeah, like I used to just like go places by myself, like, and I know how to get there. So I got really used to this like one way of doing this thing because I was doing it with this person, and then when they were gone, I like didn't know how to like move. That's why it's dangerous. I think you kind of lose yourself when you forget that you're capable of doing things on your own.
There is a certain vulnerability though to allow someone to imagine your life without someone.
Yeah.
I think that actually requires some level of risk, like emotionally, to be like, oh, I don't know what my life would be without this person. Or I actually really enjoy doing this thing with them and I can't imagine it doing it by myself. I can do it by myself.
Yeah.
And sometimes we forget that I can part, which is what you're talking about.
It's important to know that like, although you enjoy it and it's nicer, it's easier, like obviously partnership is always going to be like hopefully a healthier, more like collaborative experience. As long as you also remember that you can and are capable by yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the tricky thing is I have found that people forget that they can do things by themselves, which is what you're talking about. Like you get into a relationship and we hear it all the time. You just lose yourself and you don't know what you like. You don't know your dislikes anymore. Like you just turn into one person and your friends merge. Everything kind of merges in a way that is not helpful. That's why even today, I was on the phone with my grandmother earlier today and she was like, where's your boyfriend? Why are you not with your boyfriend? I was like, I spent all day with him yesterday. He's with his friends and I am with my friends. And she started laughing. I was like, it's important for us to spend time apart. And she was like, oh yeah, yeah. And I was like, this is not a odd concept. So I thought that was interesting because every time, you know, she asks me where he is and she's like, why aren't you doing that activity with him? I'm like,
yeah.
But why would I just be all onto him all day?
My mom is the same way. Like whenever she's like, have you talked to him today? Like, have you seen him? I'm like, he's probably fine. I'm just like, is he eating? I'm like, I don't know, probably. Like, yeah. I'm like, I'm not in charge of him. Like he existed long before I knew him. Like he was fine then. He's fine now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel I for my mom that same energy, and like some of my other friends who are dating, they're always like together. I'm like, that's great. But I think it's really important to make sure you maintain your autonomy in your relationships.
Yes.
Because if you lose your autonomy in your relationship, you lose your personhood. Then are you even in a relationship?
Then you're dead.
Then
you're dead. Yeah. One of the things that really scares me about relationships or witnessing different relationship dynamics is the issue of space.
Say more.
People don't know how to be apart.
Yeah.
They think that their partner has to be there for everything. And no, I just don't believe that I need to spend all day, every day with you. Or I don't want to spend all day, every day with your friend or with your boyfriend either. Like, sometimes this happens, and I'm currently binging How I Met Your Mother. Whatever.
Great show.
I fucking love it. It's amazing. And one of the things that Robin told Lily, she's like, I miss just us being friends. Every time I'm trying to tell you something or I'm trying to have girl talk, Marshall's there. Like, she was trying to tell Lily that she had a UTI, but she didn't feel comfortable because Marshall was right there. And I'm just like, I got so mad when I saw that because it happens so often.
Yeah, I think what's hard for me with that one is like, I remember having to learn that lesson. Like, I think at some point I took someone asking me for space as them saying they didn't like me. Mm-hmm. They didn't want to be around me. So I'm like, why don't you want to be around me? I'm cool. Like, what's up?
Yeah.
So I think that you're right. That's the healthier attitude to have. But I think like you have to also feel really secure in your relationship to trust that someone asking for space is not them communicating they don't want you. Like, it took me, I want to say, like, if I'm being really vulnerable, like at least a year for me to be like not mad about that.
Yeah.
It was always a fight. Like, they would ask for space and I'd be like, so you want to break up? They'd be like, no. I'm like, okay, so what's the problem? Like, why can't we exist in the same space together? I don't get it. So I think it has to, like, what it showed me in that relationship was that, like, I didn't feel secure in my relationship because I was like, what is going to happen when the space exists? Like, what's it going to create? Like, what does it mean? Like, I had all these questions that came up for me. So I think if you aren't secure in your relationship or there's some other issues going on, like, any intention for taking space is going to land in a really different way. But if you have security in it, then like I think it's really healthy to have space. Mad space. I like space.
Yeah, space is great. It's so important for you to be able to do things on your own with your friends or just with other people outside of being in your relationship all the time. And I get really scared when people don't have space because I do think that alludes to other issues in the relationship that are not being addressed.
Yes.
To your point.
I think it's hard, but it's hard to know that. At least for me, it's hard to know that when it's happening because I would like to think that I'm a pretty logical person. Right. Even when I'm like emotional, I feel like I'm still like trying to be reasonable. Mm-hmm. And like for a while, I just couldn't process this, like, you asking for this thing that like meant we weren't together because I think in retrospect, like, didn't feel like we were together anyway. So space, I was like, we're already not together. Now you don't even want to be next to me? Like, that? Yeah. You might as well break up.
The way that when that has happened to me, when someone has asked for space, I usually think there's something wrong with me.
Yes.
Not necessarily the relationship, but something wrong with me. Like, oh, I did something to upset you and you don't want to talk about it, so you want space. And I never really saw it until recently, honestly, that was a necessary component of a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
Like, when I think about some of the couples that I'm like, oh yeah, you guys are doing, like, things are going well in your relationship, externally, internally, from what I'm hearing. And that seems like a requirement. Yeah. Like, you have your own things, I have my own things.
Yeah, so we can catch up. If I'm with you all day long, I'm not going to tell you. I was with you all day.
You saw it all. There's no mystery anymore.
Yeah, so it is really nice. And I think I really appreciate having it in my relationships. And I also just, like, it helps me to make sure that I'm thinking for myself as much as, like, I'm thinking in partnership. You know, there's, like, you have your own space to reflect and decide how you feel about something without, even if you don't want to be influenced, like, you end up being influenced by the people you're around anyway. Exactly. So having space away from, like, a relationship, romantic or otherwise, gives you room to decide how you feel about something. So when you come back to that space, you can stay there as your own person to engage with whatever is going on in it. Does that make sense?
100%. Yeah. Yeah. And one of the things that you were just talking about was this idea of partnership. And that's also something that, I don't know why I've been thinking about these things recently. It's not because Valentine's Day or anything like that. I'm curious what partnership looks, feels, and means to you.
Those are mad questions. Okay. What does partnership mean?
I'm the one with the questions today.
Okay. What does it mean, feel, and look like?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, romantically or just overall?
You can go any direction.
I think every relationship is a partnership, or at least a healthy one is a partnership. I think what partnership means to me is being able to depend on someone else.
Oh, okay. Not need, but depend.
Depend. Yeah, I really struggle with the word need because I told you, like, need to me goes to safety. And, like, maybe I have more stuff to unpack, but, like, I'm in charge of my safety. So I'm not putting that on nobody else's hand but mine. And people can help me with safety and support me in making sure I feel safe. But, like, I'm holding on to that one. So I struggle with the word need. But depend is also, I think it's a hard word. It's hard to depend on people. Even if they want to be dependent on, I'm like,
because people are unreliable.
yeah, like deeply, right? And even if they are, I'm like, I don't know if I want to. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
it's just it's a tricky one. But I think partnership is like space to depend on someone, to give your life ease. And I think it's like honestly the most vulnerable act you can offer to anyone in your life is to give them a chance to help you. I think partnership hopefully feels iterative, like it's changing as you're changing. And it's also like you're going back to a drawing board every time. Like the amount of times that I've had the same conversation with my friends, with my partners to just kind of like keep understanding and offering nuance, like working through things. So people who are willing to stay in a conversation. Partnership is like staying even if you are mad, staying if you are like not heard, like staying long enough to find the clarity that you're looking for. I will add that my definition has changed over time. For a long time, I was like, fuck partnership.
Fuck. Damn.
Like I couldn't handle the idea of like putting anything about my life in anyone else's hands but mine. Like I just didn't feel like I didn't want to have to explain myself. I don't want to have to like explain what I needed or wanted, or it's so much work to like learn yourself well enough to like communicate that to someone else. And I just was not interested in the work that it took for me to be in a relationship. So I was just kind of anti relationships. But yeah, so my definition has definitely like evolved as I have.
Yeah. I mean, partnership requires trust and communication and a willingness to figure things out.
Yeah.
So those are some of the things that I'm thinking about. But even when you were saying that it requires staying, I know that's something that you and I have been struggling with. Because sometimes people just really need to leave. They really need to leave. And when do you stay and when do you decide to go?
Yeah.
Like I mean, I don't care at this point. I'll say it, like, I prefer being broken up with than breaking up with somebody. And that's just my truth. So it is what it is. But
I mean, it's easier.
It's easier. Yeah. And the blood isn't in my hands in that regard. But that has shown me that I'm willing to stay through some really tough shit and through some things that I probably shouldn't. And I don't know how I feel about that. I think I'm having that conversation with myself lately. I'm just thinking about like even work relationships or just different types of relationships that I've been in the past. And I'm like, I was there longer than I should have been. And why?
Do you feel like there were things that you like stayed through that if they were to happen again in your life, you would stay through again or no?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I would like to say that I wouldn't. But I don't know. I don't know if I've seen some things.
Yeah. You're telling me.
So, I mean, I told you that. I actually don't care to say this out loud either. That every relationship I've been in up until this point, I've been cheated on. And I wasn't okay with it. But I stayed.
Like when it was happening.
You said what?
Like when it was happening.
Yeah, when it was happening. I wasn't okay with it, but I stayed because I was so afraid of being by myself. Like, I am the people I'm talking about. You know what I mean?
This is a calling in podcast, we're calling ourselves in.
Exactly. So I've had to learn to, one, not stay in something longer than I need to, or like, what do I actually require from a partner? And like, what am I willing to tolerate? And what's a non-negotiable? Like, I think if I was cheated on now, like, it's a wrap. It's not a conversation.
You're like, and
I actually don't need any explanation. I would like to think that if someone like physically hurts me, that's also out the window. But I know that
it's not always
is a reality for
point.
folks. Yeah. And so I don't know. I kind of just get sad to think about all the things that people go through in relationships that they may not always say out loud. And like this morning, for some reason, I was reading about Keke Palmer and the fact that she was in a domestic violence situation as well a few years ago. And I was like reading the actual details of it. And I was like, damn, Keke, life be tough.
It's so hard on the outside. It's so hard on the outside. You're just looking at people like, how? Right. And then you're in and you're like, damn.
Right. It's like, oh, okay, it's not that far fetched.
That's scary as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know where I stand. I agree with you. I think there are a lot of things that, I don't know, like, you don't know until you know. You just have to, like, and I think I've said this to you before, but, like, in my processing of my previous relationships, like, you'll find the, like, manipulative person that fits you. I don't know. Like, you'll find the words that land for you. Like, everyone has their, like... Because there are things that I'd be like, I can't even, like...
Yeah.
But there's people who, like, you know, like, I've dated that I'm just like, oh my God, like...
They speak your language.
What the fuck?
Yeah, oh my goodness.
So, I think, if anything, I mean, it sucks that you, like, have to go through it to decide or realize that, like, it's actually so much more common than you realize. So, it's given me empathy. But I think, like, through it all, like, what I feel like hasn't changed for me is, like, I think my process hasn't changed. I think my process has always been like, I'm going to try all the things that I know to try to make this healthy, whatever. And when I feel like I have reached what I feel like is the end of my ability to try my tools, then that is the end for me. Unfortunately, that is like a long time. Like, that's not short. That's like a couple years, that's time. So,
yeah.
And I think it's really hard. I think I told myself a lot of stories about what I saw in my face, like that I saw happening. I'm like, that's not that, that's this. So there's a lot of storytelling that happens. And I don't know, like I don't know if it's a self-worth thing. Like for me, it wasn't a fear of being alone. Like I think I was like, no, this is actually a really good partner for me. Which was not the case, but like, for me, I was like, this is a person that I know is a good fit for me in XYZ ways. And this is our burden. This is our burden to, like, work through. This is our, like, problem to understand. This is our, like, big thing that we need to, like, take time to, like, unpack, whatever, right? So, and then eventually, at some point, you kind of just don't give a fuck anymore. I think that's when, and hopefully that comes sooner before you're hurt or extra hurt or really hurt. Yeah. I don't know, but
extra hurt.
You're ever hurt no matter what. I don't know.
Yeah.
And like at some point it's just like nothing you're doing, nothing you're trying is making the space any safer or like better. I don't know. Like I don't know what it takes. Like I remember for me, like I've talked to you through about what was going on, but like it didn't feel crazy. Like
no, it really. Yeah.
I was like, this thing happened. I was like, and it was, I guess it was kind of wild, but like, like nobody hit me or like I didn't like this didn't happen. Like this crazy thing that I know happens didn't happen. So I'm like, like whatever. So there's a lot of like, I don't know, like storytelling that happens, and like the final thing that like pushed me to leave was actually nothing. It was such a small, inconvenient thing that I was like, it just pissed me off way more than I was interested. I was like, I don't want to be this upset. I'm not a mad person. So I don't know what it takes, but like I hate that every woman I know honestly has like survived this wild ass relationship that like none of us would tolerate for each other ever.
That
like
part.
So it's hard because like you have to deal with it, and like as hopefully you learn the first time and you learn and you grow from it and you like have some really strong non-negotiables. But what I will say is I think in my experience, like that relationship, like is the reason why I have a healthy one now. Because I think I was contributing to it in unhealthy ways as well.
Of course.
Like I wasn't sitting here like just being perfect and they were like being abusive. Like I wasn't doing productive things or helpful things. Like I wasn't offering space, whatever those things are. Like I wasn't doing my part to be like a healthy partner as well. So I think what it taught me, which I'm grateful for, is that like I show up in my relationship now so differently in ways that I have never shown up in that relationship. That maybe if I did, it would have been different, whatever, who knows? But like,
Of course.
it's just that, yeah, so hopefully, I don't know, just learn by just like remembering what happened, remembering what you actually saw with your eyes, like trusting your lived experience of reality and just getting the fuck out of there if it's crazy.
Toxic relationships are normal. And I just wish that wasn't the case. Like that makes me so sad.
Yeah, and the bar for what is toxic is like really high. So people accept a lot of stuff before they get to like, whoa, but this never happened.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things
on your fingers and toes.
I know. I was like, I can count. I have no words. The amount of things that I allowed to happen.
Yeah. That's
going to the part, right? Like taking accountability for how I showed up in previous relationships, the things that I allowed to happen, the level of disrespect that I was just willing to accept was astronomical. In fact, do I think that I needed to go through that experience? No. And so that's kind of the hard part where you're saying like most of the women have gone through a really terrible relationship that has shifted their entire lives. And I'm like, I wish that wasn't the case. Like after my last relationship, it took years of like building the fucking foundation of my worth, of everything I thought about myself. Like I had to dig it from the ground, like when you build a house, like there was no cement, it was just dirt.
You're like, wow, I got mad work to do here.
Yeah, because a lot of times, and this is what I have found, like people talk about, someone who's physically abusive, but we never talk about someone who's emotionally abusive, which sometimes it's like
that stays with you too.
It stays with you too. And, years go by and you're like, damn, like that really happened. And some part of you is still recovering. And I think like the rest of your life, you're still recovering from that because it goes to your psyche. Like, okay, you hit me, that I know that it hurt. And you try to choke me or something, right. Like that's so physical, and it's tied to a particular moment. But when it's emotionally abusive, sometimes it's just long standing. So I don't know.
That sucks. I don't know how to have learned the things I learned in a kinder way. I know it's possible for sure. Mm-hmm. And like I wish that people didn't have to go through these things to get there. It's just like it's hard. Like when you're 21, 22, like you don't know shit. You're 23, 24, whatever. Even if you're like 35, 40, like I don't know. Like if you love people based on your experience of whatever you have seen or not seen or whatever, right? Like so I think I thought when I was choosing partners that I was trying to make sure I chose partners that were like better communicators than I was. Mm-hmm. Because I was like, I know I struggle with communicating. So like logically it makes sense for me that I'm going to find a person who's better at communicating. Yeah. But I found somebody who's so good at communicating, they fooled me. Like, damn. And I was like, yeah, it's not good communication. But like, wait. Are you playing in my face also? Mm-hmm. So it's hard because like you're trying to look for like, I don't know, like a needle in a haystack a little bit. Yeah. And I think what I've learned is like the thing I was looking for, I was supposed to just do myself. Like be a better communicator, not find one. Because like I'm not getting better at communicating in that way, I'm just like
you're learning poor communication skills. Right, in fact,
I'm learning how to be a manipulative person.
Yeah.
So it's hard because like how like at 22, like what question would I even have to ask to like understand? Like you have to just kind of try. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you feel like the relationships you have been a reflection of the relationships you've seen?
No. I've actually, like in my experience, I've only been in one fucked up relationship.
That's good.
I know, right? Go me.
Yeah, go you.
I mean, I haven't been in many relationships, but like, yeah, I think the rest of them like were really kind and like, I don't know, they were like helpful to me in my like development. Mm-hmm. And I think I didn't have an example. Like my parents weren't together. I don't know, like, and I watched them and I was like, this is not it. I know that, Yeah. And like, I think maybe that was a good thing. Like I didn't have like a comparative point. So I was building from like my own. I'm like, I know, like I like this in my friendship. So like this would be good in a relationship. Or like I was putting it together. So no, I don't think I was like trying to mirror any relationship that I like had or saw in my life. What about you?
I would agree. Yeah, my parents weren't together, and I didn't really have an understanding, or like I didn't have a something I was working towards in a relationship. Like, oh my, you know how people are like, I want a relationship like my parent or things like that. I did always notice, and I think about this all the time. Like in Dominican culture, I haven't. It's very rare that I meet someone that's married. I've met people who are together for a really long time, but married is, I don't know, which is very interesting to me because so many Dominicans are religious. So it like kind of throws me off that they're like completely okay with just having a long-standing partner. Yeah. But I don't necessarily think that I have had an ideal to work from. Yeah.
How do you feel like you're like, you think about your current relationship? Like, is it one that you've ever imagined for yourself?
Say that again?
Like the one you're in right now, do you feel like it's one that you could have imagined that you'd be in, like this kind of dynamic, however it is?
Actually, yeah.
I love that for you.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. No, which is really interesting that that happened the way it did.
So where did it come from? Like you had it in your head, like you thought about it, like
I always knew that I wanted to date someone that I could share things with. Like I hate the idea that like a woman has to do specific things and like a man has to do specific things. I was like, we can both do the things. So I have always wanted that in a relationship. And maybe it's because, again, like I come from a culture that's like the gender roles are just so ingrained in you.
I think like my version of what I've imagined, like I think it's this. I think it's the relationship I'm in, partially because like I think that we communicate the same way. And I think we're both like trying to have a good time. So like I think even if it's not like always positive or there's conflict, like our goal is to always get back to just like liking each other again, you know? Like
Yeah.
and I feel like in other relationships that I've seen or whatever it is, like that's not the goal. I'm like, are y'all trying to be unhappy? Like is the goal to be
A lot of times I'd be like, he doesn't like you.
yeah, I'm like, it's okay. Get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
And like it's hard. It's hard. I know it's hard because I've been there. You've been there. It's hard. It's hard to leave. And like, but for me, I'm just like, I would much rather be alone. Literally, like, than fight with someone who's supposed to love me.
Right. Right.
What am I fighting? I love me. I'm trying to have a good time. Yeah. So like, even like all these shows like Temptation Island, like I can't. Like, I don't understand. Like, it is encouraging such shitty behavior in all of us.
Yes.
Like why if you're in a real relationship where you're bringing yourself to this like conflict, I don't know. Yeah, it's hard. It was a long road to get to what feels healthy to me. But a lot of it I had to tell myself some pretty hard truths about like my contributions to my relationships.
Right.
You know? And
Right.
I wasn't always ready to own my part. I was like, I'm perfect. I communicate. I tell people what's wrong.
I'm great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like the thing that I am willing to take ownership now of is I just avoided certain conversations because
do you mean?
I didn't want, I wasn't ready to have a hard conversation
So you
because
avoided
of what it
topic
would
altogether?
create. Because I was like, oh, this could be a rupture. And because I was so scared of a rupture, I was just like, in the sky, in the sky.
No problems here.
Oh, that happened? Where? What? I didn't know. Moving on. And when you don't talk about certain things, it just like festers.
Yeah, of course. And it becomes a monster.
Exactly.
It will eat you both.
And then when the monster comes,
You're like, fuck.
there's nothing else to do but to
Be eaten by the monster.
be eaten by the monster, yeah, or to try to fight the monster, but that never works. So, yeah, I definitely think that at least now I have seen enough healthy relationships in my life, thankfully. Late 20s, thankfully, are maybe doing that. That I understand how a relationship is like can function, not as opposed to, but how it can function. And I think it's really hard to be in a healthy relationship.
Yeah. It's like a full-time job.
Yeah. It takes a lot.
Yeah.
It takes a lot. It's not easy, and we haven't been conditioned to be in healthy relationships.
Yeah. Yeah, people are taught to leave when it gets hard, or to stay and ignore what's hard. Mm-hmm. Both of those end the same way. I think what I can own, I think that I was willing to, one, like, not be myself, and like sacrifice my needs to stay, for it to not end. And like, by not being myself, I mean like, I'm a person who asks a lot of questions. I have a lot of questions, and I have a lot of like, I'm curious, and I like have all this like structure or whatever. Like that's kind of just fun for me. And I think in a lot of my relationships prior to this one, like I kind of tried to like put those down because they were like annoying or like whatever. And I tried to like give up. Like, I don't need this. Like, this is fine. Like I did a lot of like compromising.
Yeah.
And what I've noticed in this relationship is that like I brought all my structure. And like not only has it been like embraced, but it's helped. So I'm like, oh, like, this is what I was trying to do this entire time I was dating anyone. People were not trying to do it with me. So I think what I wasn't owning is, like, I could somehow stay in a relationship that I wasn't even like, seen in. Like, it was not even, we were just, like, in a relationship by, like, name, I guess. And I was like, I don't even think you like me. I don't even like me right now. I don't even like you. I don't like none of this. So I think it's hard. It's hard to decide that you're worthy of something better than you think that like you can offer. Yeah, I think it's hard. I think that we're taught to only want things that we can do for someone else. But I think that like sometimes being loved better than you can love yourself teaches you how to do it better.
Oh, 100%.
But I feel like the saying is like you only can love somebody else as much as you love yourself. I'm like, I don't think that's true. I love other people way better than I love myself. Like, way better. And like, so
you learn to love yourself by being loved by other people.
Right. If you're denying people who like love you better, then like you're teaching yourself to never grow out of the way you love yourself. You know? I have a question for you. What do you feel like, how to phrase this? How do you know that it's like time to get out in a bad relationship? Like,
you don't.
What's an indicator you're just like, ooh, like I've crossed this line?
For me.
Yes, for yourself. For you.
Oh, okay.
It can be general if you have some general ones, but for yourself.
The main indicator for me is when I have a lot of negative thoughts towards them. When I think about them, I don't necessarily have happy thoughts or neutral thoughts. Like, I'm like, fuck them. Or I like have a lot of intense emotions that are very negative towards them. That to me is like a good indicator of like, I probably shouldn't be with this person. I like them and I love them, but how I feel towards them doesn't feel good for me. Because, you know, they were slimy or whatever it is, like. Yeah. Or when you build a lot of resentment. Yeah. Like resentment is a great indicator for me when it's time for me to bounce.
It's hard to come back from resentment. Yeah. Because that built, like, you got there over, like, a lot of stuff. Like, you don't just, like, resent someone, you know?
It builds over time.
Yeah. And you can't really, even if you, like, work through whatever the problem is, like, I still resent you. I don't know. I think for me, like, one of them, I think, like, if I feel like I have to check her phone, if I feel like I can't, like, which is like, when I was younger, I was like, oh, I would never, like, da-da-da-da. But I remember at some point in my last relationship,
she did it.
Not only did I do it, like,
I've never done it. Although I've been accused.
I felt so gross. Like, I was like,
that is being in hell. If you feel like you need to check your partner's phone.
But I wasn't even like check their phone. Like,
what did you do? Tell us.
Tell you it was crazy. I will though. I think so. The indicator was like, no, like you made me not trust myself. That was the indicator. Like you made me question my reality. Like that. Right. I was like something has to be wrong because I'm reasonable. I know I'm reasonable. And right now, you're telling me that I'm not reasonable. And like when I went to go look for evidence of me being reasonable, I found it. So what the fuck, right? Like, so like, yeah, the behavior was also an indicator, but like the fact that a person who like can hear a lot and talk through a lot was being made to feel like this thing I know is true is not.
Yeah.
Like, that is an infuriating feeling, and I feel like if a partner of yours pushes you to feel that way, you gotta go. I did not leave in that moment. I will own that. I did not go. I should have went. Did not stay a little while longer, just to make sure I was right. You know, like, I don't know, but yeah, no, I didn't check their. I checked, like, I think it was like their email or something, not their phone, because their phone wasn't gonna tell me anything. But just like whatever. But like, what happened for me, like, in seeing what I knew I was gonna see, first of all, because I'm not stupid.
Also, doing slimy shit on email is beyond me. It is beyond me. Like, email? What is this, 1995?
No, it's more discreet. My phone. Think about it. You have to plan that shit, right? Whatever.
Like, schedule this email at 9 p.m. Hey, boo.
But not my boo. my other boo.
Boo number 2.
Whatever. You know, but like, what it taught me was like once I confirmed what I knew was true, I felt so bad immediately. One, right? So for me, I was like, that felt bad. I didn't want to do that. I mean, like, I crossed a personal line of my own, and I felt like I had no choice. And like, I can't blame them for that feeling. That's on me. But like, our conversation after that was so fucking frustrating. They were like, well, of course it's there. Like, I wasn't trying to hide it. It was just there. Like, I just didn't come up at all before today. I'm like, why the fuck would it have come up? You like, why would I have seen this? Where would I have seen it? So, like, weird, like, deniability because, like, I didn't technically lie. Whatever. So, like, anything that I did to seek clarity led to me feeling like I couldn't trust my own experience. And that is what eventually pushed me to be like, you know what? I'd rather be crazy because, like, it's okay. Like, I don't need to be here. Like, we don't gotta date. It's fine. Like, it's really okay. Yeah. So
that's why I love this question, because your indicators are only yours. Because to me, that happened all the time. That was such a constant for me to not trust my own experience.
Yeah.
And that also may have to do with, like, my relationship with myself, my relationship with doubt, and just trusting that the other person knows more than me, which is something I've had to work through and
you
like really work through that
you're
shit.
Smart. You know stuff.
You know, now on the other side I do, but I felt like I was like my reality was constantly being questioned, and I was like, but I saw this. You're like, no.
Here's why that happened. You're like, oh, okay, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, I guess I wasn't paying attention fully.
Even though I'm also college educated, but you got it.
Let me tell you what really bothers me.
Oh, yes, please.
In the example you just gave around, like, their response to you finding the email, when people willingly withhold information and do not consider that to be harmful.
Lying. Yes.
That, like,
it's actually,
I get angry so easily.
It's actually lying.
Yeah. Like, there's nothing that bothers me more than that. I wouldn't necessarily say that I would leave a situation because of it, because I think it happens so often.
Yeah.
And that's people cop out, right? They're like, I didn't lie. I just didn't say anything. And I'm like,
yeah, okay. So I had this fight for a long time, but whatever. So there's a difference between honesty and transparency.
yes.
There's a very clear distinction. And everyone is smarter than they are claiming to be in that conversation. Honesty is answering a question I ask you. Transparency is giving me all the context you know I need. So when
Can
I
you
ask
just say
you,
that again?
honesty,
this is a master class
no,
right
but deadass, I had to learn
that.
the hard. I was like, I need to look this shit up because like, oh my god,
we have so many
never again, okay?
Like,
Like, never fucking again. Because I'm reasonable. Don't make me crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. Honesty is answering a question you were asked.
Yes.
Like, fully answering the question you were asked. Transparency is offering all the context you know that person is asking you for. Like, if I ask you how your day was, and you know for a fact in the morning you hooked up with this girl, and you say my day was fine. That might be honest, but you know for a fact it's not transparent.
Yeah.
Why would I know to ask you?
I'm sure your day was fine because of what you just did.
Why would I know to ask you if you did something shady in the morning? Why would I know to do that? You know that information, so if you choose to not tell me,
oof. I feel like you just healed a part of me.
You're welcome. Because I'm telling you, I had to do my... Because I was like, I need more words. Because I told you this person was really good at communicating. So they had all the words. And I did not have enough. So I was like, okay, I will find them. Because they're like, I never lied to you. I'm like, you didn't tell me the truth. Like, I did. I'm like, the whole truth. Like, I told you the truth that you needed to hear. I'm like...
I told you the truth that I needed to hear is so manipulative.
I'm like, who am I? Tell me the entire fucking truth.
Okay.
Not the truth you need.
Something else that really upsets me is when people determine your capacity for information. Like, that used to happen all the time. Like, oh, I knew this would upset you, so I didn't tell you. Like, I'm sorry. Allow me to have my own experience. Yeah, like, if you know that this is gonna elicit a certain emotion from me, then like,
that's my business.
Be ready for that.
That's my.
But also be ready for that because you warranted it, and so.
You didn't tell me because now what?
Because you didn't think I was capable enough of receiving difficult information. Like, you're taking away my agency at that point.
Okay. So that's what I said. Relative transparency and honesty as some sort of absolution from the actual impact of your actions. It's like, I didn't really... If you feel hurt by my honesty, it's on you. It's like, but you had more context than you offered because you decided I couldn't handle it. And now you're upset at my reaction that you lied. How is that my fault?
Right.
Why'd you lie?
Why you lied, yeah.
I think I had a hard time. So one of the things that was going on that I was trying to navigate that I'll never deal with ever again in my life, honestly, was that I don't know how to explain this. Yo, like, not only was my capacity being determined, but so was somebody else's. Right?
Okay,
they were determining my capacity and another person's. And telling me like, oh yeah, they can't handle this information, don't tell them. And I'm like, you can't decide my capacity or that person. So you better tell both of us the same information. Because that's how messy things were getting. So they were deciding like to tell me a part of something and to make sure they would tell me what parts they weren't telling somebody else. I'm like, don't involve me in your like...
And you're lying.
I also just like, absolutely fucking not. I'm going to inform everyone of everything, actually. Like, and then they were like, you like forced my hand. I'm like,
I forced you to tell the truth because you were unwilling
I don't
to.
know. I forced them to tell the truth like when they weren't ready to or like whatever.
When
like,
you weren't ready.
I changed their timeline and they had a better timeline on mine than like whatever mine was. And I was like,
right.
But during the situation, I was like, damn, Linda.
I really wish that in the future we could actually talk about the specifics of that relationship because that relationship is probably one of the wildest things I have ever heard. Like, I don't know anyone else who has been in that kind of situation. That's why I felt crazy
because I was like, this has to be me because I've never seen this before either.
Yeah, so when you're ready, we will be ready. But yeah, we've been through a lot of unhealthy dynamics and have survived.
It makes you enjoy the good ones.
Yeah, like the problems that I have now, I'm like, okay, these are good problems.
As far as I know, I don't have a problem.
Yeah.
There's no problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, like any conflict that like exists right now has nothing to do with our relationship. It's like any of my old shit or like their old shit just like coming up. And we're like, oh, okay, like we're confronting like a previous experience presently.
Yeah.
Let's navigate it. There's no like weird good. I don't know. Like it's it's actually really easy.
And for me, I couldn't imagine fighting with my partner every day and calling that a relationship. Like, there is no part of me where I'm like, if I'm not enjoying my time with you. So, Temptation Island, just for a brief moment.
Is it on? Is it like live yet?
Yeah. Oh, this guy basically was like, I haven't gone on a good day in a really long time. And they just broke up with their person like last week. I'm like, I'm sorry. So you're basically saying that you didn't have fun with your person before? That's so sad.
Yeah.
That is sad. You are choosing to be in a relationship with someone. You should smile. You should laugh. You should have a good time with that person.
Yeah.
That is the point of being in a relationship.
The conflict that comes should always be productive.
Yes.
And it's hard again. Like, and I want to like say again, like it's hard because it's hard to see it when you're in it. It's hard to like experience. Like we can say it's on the other side because you know, like we were.
Oh yeah, of course.
I did a lot of fuck shit too.
Right.
You know, and cried every day. Like was mad every day. Like was isolated from my friends and talked to nobody because I felt like I couldn't tell anybody. I was like, if I'm dumb, I gotta be dumb alone.
I can't be witnessed in my ridiculousness.
Because like whenever I would explain what was going on, I was like, this is crazy. So I was like, I'm not telling anybody else because like they don't understand. You know, I understand whatever.
Yeah,
I told them a lot of stuff. So it's hard when you're in it, but like I think yeah, you should be happy. The neutral state of your relationship should be joy and a desire to like want to spend time with each other.
Yeah.
If the root of your relationship or what happens 60%, not even, if half the time you spend together you are arguing and the arguments aren't changing.
Yeah, that part.
They're the same arguments.
Like I'm not willing to talk to someone about the same thing all day in and all day out. Like no, not me.
Staying somewhere where nothing is moving on either side, you or them, like nothing is like changing and shifting and there's no like energy towards like progress. It's like you have one life. And like I know
that is the mantra we will come back to.
Like,
you
really
have one life.
What is the point?
Yeah. And I'm not willing to be miserable.
No.
Just to say that I'm with somebody.
Especially if you know you're miserable.
Yeah.
I would like to say for myself and my previous dumb self, I didn't know I was miserable. I didn't know. I only after I was like, oh my God, I'm so unhappy.
Yeah.
But in the midst of it, I was like, woo, it was a lit ass time, you know, like maybe I would have picked up on it earlier if I was like miserable. I didn't feel that way. I don't remember feeling that way most of the time. So like if you feel miserable, you know you are. It's like I don't know. It's hard. I don't know. It's hard to give advice.
I think what's hard is that you may feel miserable one day and the next day things may fluctuate. If it does
and that's
fluctuate.
Life. So it's hard to be like
this
person or this relationship.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
I think it's hard. And this is something I actually want to bring up. You know, oftentimes we're told that relationships are hard.
Right.
And I don't know how I feel about that.
Like, okay, I think I know how I feel. Thought about this a little bit. I agree. But I think the nuance I'm going to add that I don't think people are saying, they should say, there's a little asterisk at the end of it is like, what's hard shouldn't be your partner. Life is hard. Like shit happens, people get sick, people die, like bankrupts, whatever. Like life is hard. Your partnership should be the easiest part. Not that there's not going to be conflict in it and like you won't get along, whatever. Like conflict arises, but like if the trying to talk to the person you're like with, if that's hard, you guys shouldn't be together. I think.
Yeah.
Like if I'm like afraid to come to you and like we're gonna like yell at each other and like we're not gonna like in the midst of like the other like life stuff, it's like where am I supposed to go? I can't come to you and I can't.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I agree. I want to let go of that idea that relationships are hard or that they're meant to be hard.
They involve like labor and intention and effort and like curiosity and you know like a willingness to try, like all of that. Like
But I think that saying has normalized a lot of toxic shit. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, oh, somebody cheats on you. It's like, oh, relationships are hard. Like, you could come back from that. You guys love each other. Like, no, I'm good. That's not the kind of hard that I'm looking for at all. Like, circumstantial. Okay, you might have lost your job or something happens in life. You got
accidentally
sick.
Cheated on me?
What? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Whether you cheated at the beginning of the relationship, in the middle of the relationship, it doesn't matter to me. It's done.
Yeah.
It's done.
And like maybe you can change. I hope you do for whoever else you date.
That part.
Best of luck with your future.
The other thing is sometimes, and this is what really pisses me off about women, and I had to unlearn this again. We're all culprits. We're all culprits.
Yeah, for sure.
I was taught inadvertently that I could change men, that if I stayed long enough, that if I was kind enough, that if I was loving enough, that if I had enough sex with them, that they would change. And that did not turn out to be true, because you can't go into a relationship thinking that you're going to change the person. I think that's a recipe for disaster.
Yes. And exhaustion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like me too. I think I learned that like if I appease them and like I'm patient and like I compromise and like whatever else, then like they'll like listen to me.
Yeah. That they want to be kind to me. Yeah.
Like that wanting to be kind. But I think like the other thing that we've all heard that like we need to maybe like lean more into is trust what you're looking at. Trust, even if maybe they could change. Maybe they're not that way, but like if someone is like, for me now, like I take being yelled at really offensively so fast. I'm like, whoa, are you raising your voice at me?
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean? Like, but like if I'm trusting what I see now, right? I think that if you trust what you see more often, then you're not trying to figure out why they're this way or like what made, and like maybe there's some really good reason, like trauma, whatever. Like me too. All of us have a bunch of stuff. Like me too. I don't know, like to work through. And like I think that because of our like, or at least for me, like I always want to figure out like why someone is a certain way and like see if I can support them walk out of it or like work through their trauma, and like that's all well and good as long as the paycheck attached.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna pay me for my time, we can get to the bottom of why you choose to cuss me out, whatever you want to talk to me. But I think like we're taught to kind of just like accept what we're given, and that's all we get. So we need to find a way to make this person like as safe as we can for ourselves and tolerate anything they do as long as we can like, I don't know, like stay near them or, you know.
Yeah.
But it's hard. And it doesn't work. Like the idea that you should marry someone's potential, like don't marry someone's potential. Because like
I don't know what the saying is.
The idea is like if you meet someone today, like if they changed nothing at all about themselves, could you imagine being with them forever? And if you're with someone and you're just like, I know that you can work on these things. I see your potential. You can be this way, and I'm gonna stay with you because I can see that idea. It's like you made that up, literally by yourself.
Yeah.
With no help from them.
Yeah.
So on either side, like man or whatever, like if you are seeing someone as they're presenting themselves today, and you can't imagine being with that person long term as they are today,
then baby,
leave that person alone because their potential was not there. I don't see her. She's not real yet. Why? Yeah. And this free labor to bring that to fruition is crazy. To what end? Yeah, I don't know. And I know we're young, but like I'm trying to be happy.
Yeah.
And I want to do work, but not like that. I'm trying to work for money. I'm trying to work for, you know, other things.
For entertainment.
Something. Like, not for, like, safety and peace. Like, one thing I want to add is, like, I'm getting to a point in my life where I trust adults to figure it out. So, like, this whole thing where, like, I can help you in this relationship, like, see the way through and, like, work through your trauma and, like, I'm your partner and whatever. Like, I'm cool with supporting any change you're interested in doing. And I'm cool with talking through whatever you're trying to talk through, as long as it is you taking the initiative to do so. This whole thing where, like, men can't work through stuff because it's just their nature. It's like,
no.
Like, at my big age, I had to learn stuff. I had to, like, you know, like, figure out how to be better, how to communicate better, how to, like, be less, like, wild about the way I was communicating. Because I wanted peace in my life. And the same thing that I expect of myself, I expect of any other adult who wants to date. If you're not doing that, that's cool. Just don't date people because it's really, like, it's a lot going on in this world. And nobody has time for whatever that is.
Oof. Yeah.
This is a really, really risky episode that we're recording here. Just want to make sure that's also recorded.
Right. Yeah. My brain is in 100 different places right now. I think a through line of the podcast is what you just said. Adults have the capacity to figure shit out.
Yeah. Do your work.
Do your work.
That's the same message every time we have. Just do your work.
Do your work.
Figure out what the work is if you don't know. And do it.
Do it. You would be better off.
Go to therapy. Everyone. Find a therapist. It could be your friends. It could be the internet. It could be a podcast. It could be a book.
Okay, I'm glad you said that because you obviously
Oh
know
yeah,
people
yeah,
have
yeah,
so
yeah,
many
yeah. A
feelings
lot of
about
feelings, but like
therapy and blah blah
find
blah
therapy for
blah.
yourself. It doesn't have to
Yeah,
be a paid person to do talk therapy with, but like there's a million books in the world, mad podcasts, mad friends who are willing to listen and talk to you. Like figure your shit out. Like if
yeah.
you're angry, why the fuck are you angry? If you're sad all the time, what's going on? Why are you sad? Figure it out.
Yeah, if you can't connect to your emotions, why?
Yeah. Like I couldn't connect to my emotions. I had to figure it out. I was like, now I have a list, you know? I've been using my
Right,
list. So
right.
it's okay. Like life is hard. Shit happens. Trauma happens early. You don't know about it. Cool. You're a grown up now. Like
And also trust that in every relationship that you are in, something new will pop up that you may not have known you needed to work through.
yeah.
Like someone may trigger you in a way that you haven't been before.
Relationships will always be a mirror of yourself.
Yes.
A part maybe you want to see, part
And
maybe you
part you
don't want to
don't.
see. Either way, the mirror is still true. It's you.
Exactly.
You're looking back at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. There was this TikTok that we might have to cut this out, but there was this TikTok of this girl that basically she just moved into a new apartment and she was installing like her computer or something to the wall. And she was telling us, well, us, her audience, I guess, that she had just broken up with her MAGA boyfriend and that they were together for a really long time and that he was really great and that she would actually listen to podcasts and like listen to books to understand his perspective. And then after some time, she realized that they just didn't align politically or just in terms of their worldview in general. And she was like, what really got me is that I was trying to understand him and he wouldn't understand my perspective. And I was just watching that. I was like, you are dumb. You are dumb. You are so dumb. Like, I have to say that sometimes because women are so willing sometimes. So fucking willing
Just don't get why.
to
There are
do
mad
the
people.
most.
There are mad people in the world.
Where
And
you
not for
could-
themselves. Not for themselves.
No,
for
never for
anybody
them,
else.
never for themselves. Like you could just go find someone that you align with politically. It's not that hard. It's
Like,
not that
what are you
hard.
trying to understand? It's not a complicated.
I would
stance.
never. Do you understand me? Why would I listen to MAGA podcasts or anything like that to understand my partner?
When I know that's not my value
Yeah.
system.
So
Yeah.
talk about an
And
extreme example.
It's okay to be dumb. You just gotta remember that you were once dumb and that you can, grow from that experience.
Exactly.
Don't stay that way. 'Cause, like,
Exactly. And I think you and I can both agree that we've been dumb.
quite a few times. It's okay.
And we learned and we grew
And now it's funny. It's on a podcast. So
Is it funny?
I don't know. I don't know. It's coping, maybe.
It's coping for sure.
Yeah.
I will say though, being on this side feels good. It was really hard to be in a healthy relationship at first. I actually didn't know how to do it. I was just like, I'm so overwhelmed that things are going well.
You're like, is this right?
Like something
not
must be
fighting?
wrong. Something must be wrong. And I've had to dig in and unlearn a lot of what I've been taught about relationships or what's been normalized about relationships and having to really ask myself, like, what kind of relationship do I want? What kind of partner do I want? And not in a materialistic sense. I think a lot of women also,
I have a lot of
you
feelings.
know, I have a lot of feelings about women today. Yeah. When they think about the kind of partner that they want, they always say, I want him to be tall. I want him to make this amount of money. I want him to be in this profession. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
but
I'm
is
like,
he kind? Does he want good things for you? Is he gonna hold you accountable to being your best self?
does he care about the things you care about? Is he a good listener?
Are you?
Are you? So I just want more for us.
What's your takeaway now that you're talking about things that you want for us? What's your takeaway for our episode for yourself?
My takeaway is that sometimes it's really hard to talk about some of the experiences you've been through. And even I found myself today like, oh shit, I forgot that kind of happened. And it's so necessary to just kind of look back and see what happened and what you went through because we are so resilient even though we didn't need to be, we still are. And to identify for ourselves what kind of relationships we want to be in outside of what we've been taught. Because if I went by what I was taught, Lord behold, I would be changing every man I saw.
You're like,
You.
come here. Make
Potential.
overtime. Right.
You. Potential.
And then you'd be drained and exhausted and sad the whole time.
Exactly. So that feels like some of my takeaways. What about you?
Oh my God. Yeah, my head's in a million places. I think my first one is like, try your best to learn the first time from the experience you're having. Offer yourself some grace for not knowing better. Mm-hmm. Listen to your friends.
And trust yourself.
Trust what you are literally seeing with your eyes. Even if you're being told it is not there, it is there. And I think my other one for myself today is like, trust your process. Like I really believe that like people can't walk away from a relationship until they feel done with it. Mm-hmm. Even if they should be done and their friends say so and whoever else and all these opinions are present, like you actually will not leave until you feel like you are done. So find some way to tell yourself the truth. Decide what your capacity to tolerate behavior and like, I guess, bad behavior is of anyone. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, like find your way out as quickly as you can. And I feel like for me, like people told me long before we broke up that like we shouldn't have been dating, but like I was like, no, you guys don't understand. There's all this stuff that I have to like work, whatever. But like that was the only way, because then on the other side of that, I was like, I'm done. Like I'm actually done. I won't go back. It's not gonna happen again. Like, so trust your experience, and I don't know, just like listen to the things that you're experiencing and seeing with your eyes is really my takeaway.
What I want to add is listen to your justifications.
Yeah, because they be sounding mad crazy.
What? Oh, men just don't know how to be emotional.
It's like I actually expect better of them. I think higher of them. They can.
Yeah. I think it's so easy for us to just create stories in our head about what people are able to do and what they're not able to do. And so that's why I say listen to your justifications. Like, what stories are you telling yourself about this person? And are they real? Yeah. Are they imagined? Probably imagined.
I feel like what I just shared is mostly takeaways for, I think, our audience. Like, I think about like myself, like I think I'm proud of the experience I've had. I mean, it sucked. Honestly, would rather not repeat it, and I wish it didn't happen. But I guess rather, it has given me perspective to support my friends in a different way. Because before I'd be like, I could never be in a situation, like, everyone get out, like, everyone who's in it is stupid. I don't know, right? That was my energy, I
mean,
guess.
Of course.
Because I'm just like, no way, I know there's a lot of smart women. So I think my takeaway for myself is, like, I have such better patience and tolerance as my friends work through their relationships however they need to. Mm-hmm. Because I understand how long it took me, and I know that I only could see the end of something when I was ready to see it. So my takeaway is like noticing my experience has changed the way that I show up
for others.
Yeah. I think my takeaway for our audience hopefully is that, like, one, that you just have much less trauma happen, and that you just, you date people who like start by loving you. That's my hope maybe for them. Yeah. And then I hope that they take away that talk things out. Like, one, you'll realize how common your experience is with other people. Yeah. And hopefully hearing other people's experience and story of how they like navigated the entire thing ends your cycle faster. So listen to your friends, talk to people more often, find ways to just kind of hear stories, experiences of people's relationships, because that's the only way you'll understand how to navigate yours, whether it's like worth staying in or supporting or whatever, or working through.
One of the ways that shame works is that it silences you. It makes you feel like no one else is going through this experience, and so why would I share that this is happening to me, or this is too scary for me to say out loud,
or like too embarrassing.
Too embarrassing.
I think a lot of us are like, I was embarrassed.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I was like, am I this dumb?
Right. And it's more common than not to be in an unhealthy relationship, to be quite honest. Sad to say, but that's just the reality.
Yeah. Oh, wait, and I'll add, you have all the time in the world. Like, I think
One little
sometimes,
life. Please
for
use
real,
it.
like, I feel, because I think sometimes people stay because they're just like, well, I've been in it for this long. And so, like, and it's just like the long, like, whatever you want to happen in your life, staying in a bad place will keep you trapped. I don't know. Like, well, there's a saying that we use in our restorative justice circles that you can't get to a good place in a bad way.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're trying to look for get to a good place and you're in a bad relationship, it is just extending the like timeline for you to get to that good place. So I don't know. Like, don't worry about time, even if it's been 10 years, 15 years,
Yeah.
6 years, 6 months, whatever. Like, when it's done, just let it end, and you'll be surprised how much and how quickly you find love on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it be with yourself, with your community, or hopefully with partnership if you're looking for that.
Yeah. And I do hope that people think, or that, let me backtrack. I hope that people see that there's more to life than just suffering.
Don't invest in your own misery.
Don't invest in your own
Don't
misery.
invest in your own misery. Don't invest in it. No. What was it? You'll end up being emotionally poor. You'll be emotionally poor.
You'll be emotionally poor.
If you invest in your own misery.
Don't be emotionally
poor. Capitalism is already a beast. Don't contribute. You just contribute joy.
Mm-hmm.
And then, starve the misery. And then maybe it'll die.